Hello friends. Have you ever wondered how this Kube API server of Kubernetes cluster actually works? Let us understand the working of Kube API server with a simple example of creating a pod. So when a user enters the command to create a pod, the Kube API server first authenticates the request and then validates it. Once authentication has been done, so the Kube API server creates the pod, but it does not assign the node to it. Now, the scheduler is always monitoring the Kube API server and it sees that a pod has been created but node has not been assigned. So, the scheduler identifies the node on which this pod can be placed and then it updates it back to the API server. The API server updates this information to the etcd cluster. Also, the API server let the kubelet of the appropriate node know that this pod has to be placed in this particular node. Once that is done, the kubelet places the pod on that node and also let the container runtime engine know that this image has to be deployed. Once that is done, the kubelet informs the Kube API server that the pod has been placed, and the same information again Kube API server tells to the etcd cluster, and Kube API server finally gives the user that the pod has been created. This